yesterday I had my very first cupping session. For those of you that aren't familiar with cupping, it's a traditional Chinese practice that involves using suction and cups on different meridian points, usually along the back, but sometimes different areas of the body. And this is doing a number of things depending on who you ask. It's moving the chi, the life force through the body. It's stimulating the different meridian points, just like acupressure would do, just with suction rather than pinpointing. It's separating the skin from the muscle so that the fascial tissue and muscle and things can get more circulation. It's going to stimulate blood flow to those areas. So it's taking essentially energy that's feeling stagnant and making it less stagnant. It's creating movement within the body underneath the skin through this suction. I thought I'd take you through the several emotional stages of my first cupping session. Stage number 1, skepticism. So I am all about the new age treatments. I am more than happy to try out anything you want to hand to me. I feel like you are your best laboratory. So if you are curious about a particular treatment that seems a little hokey, try it out and see what you think of it, because ultimately you're just looking for things that your body responds to. That being said, I didn't know a lot about cupping, so I kind of went into it with a little more skepticism than I normally would. For a living, I place my hands on people's body and move the energy, so I don't know why I was more skeptical of suction cups being able to do the same thing. Stage 2, slight discomfort. So I don't know what it was within me that got this in my head. I think it's maybe related to acupuncture. You hear a lot of people who have tried acupuncture say that, you know, even though you have a needle in your skin, like, you actually can't feel it, or it actually feels good. So I was like, oh, maybe something magical is gonna happen with these suction cups, that it's gonna actually like feel unlike what I would expect a suction cup on my skin to feel like. Maybe it's gonna be like super pleasant. It was not super pleasant. It was not uncomfortable, but it felt exactly what you would think giving yourself giant back hickeys would feel like. And at times, depending on the area of the section, it felt like it was a little more intense. So those definitely were ones that I had to, you know, call in the yoga training and focus on my breathing and try and relax a little bit more. And then as time goes on, I don't know if the suction decreases or if my body just adjusted to it, but it would kind of settle in, and each section was done for about 10 to 12 minutes. So he would put the cups on, leave the room, and then come back about 10 minutes later. Overall though, during my session, I kind of felt like I was underwhelmed. Stage 3, underwhelmment. So as I'm going through this whole session, I'm expecting there to be some major shift in my energy, and I'm very aware of my energy. So I kept waiting for that to happen and didn't feel a lot of shifting. I did feel a lot of warmth in the sections that the cupping was happening in, but overall I didn't feel a lot of energetic shifts during my cupping session, which was fine. I still felt like it was doing something. I didn't feel like it was a complete waste of money or time, but as I'm laying on the table, I was thinking, I don't think I'll be doing this again. Stage 4, slight pain. So most of my session was actually done with the stationary cups, and there is a practice where they do move the cups around to sort of give like sort of a massaging with the suction. And I had mentioned some shoulder pain, and so he did use the cups on some muscles on my shoulders, and it was definitely intense, but intense in a way that like a deep tissue massage would feel. And so I definitely felt more of a massage effect on my shoulders whenever the cups were being moved around than I did with just having the cups placed in one area. Stage 5, slightly lightheaded, maybe hungry. So as I'm leaving my session, I come out and I show my Groupon and I tip my practitioner, and I mentioned that I was feeling a little lightheaded already, and it had just occurred when I stood up. But I hadn't eaten much that day, so I kind of thought maybe that was a little bit part of it. So I returned outside to my bike and decided to go get some food. And so I went to this cafe and got like a wrap and a smoothie, and then sat back after I got done eating. And this is when things started to shift a little. Stage 6. Am I high? So after I sat back from eating, and I now know that I'm no longer lightheaded because of my hunger. it starts to feel almost as if I'm like on drugs. It was still that kind of lightheaded feeling that I'd felt earlier, but like more intense and very sort of like otherworldly, which was a sensation I definitely enjoyed. I probably would have enjoyed it a little bit more had I had the rest of the day free and not known that I had to go teach in like half an hour. It was like a sort of like a fuzzy sensation, but it wasn't exactly feeling tired and it wasn't exactly feeling alert. It was like this sort of in between. So that was really cool, and I was a big fan of that, and that lasted for probably about another hour. And then I had to go teach, so I kind of had to shake myself out of it to like be more present and active within the moment. Stage 7, really sleepy. So I taught a yoga class, and on this particular day I was teaching 2 classes with an hour break in between. After my first class I started to feel sleepy. Not tired, like I was exhausted, and it wasn't an uncomfortable tired feeling, it was just, I'm ready for like a great nap. I laid down in the lobby of my yoga studio and took a nap in between the classes. It felt very similar to the feeling that you get when you've been out like at a beach all day and you haven't really been doing anything that's like exhausting, but you get home and you just feel that like nice, warm, fuzzy, tired feeling. That's exactly what I was feeling here as I laid down for this nap. And I have never slept so well, particularly in a public place. So there weren't a lot of people there, but there were some cleaners cleaning the studio and vacuuming and things like that. And I conked out so quickly and slept so solid. I don't know anything that happened in the half hour that I was asleep, but it was the best nap I've ever had. And I actually woke up feeling relatively refreshed. It was a very rejuvenating nap. Stage 8, the next day. Clap along, clap, clap.